You know this character,
Ron Weasley.
this character,
I'm Hermione Granger.
and this character.
I'm Harry Potter.
You remember this moment and most definitely this one. But what do they all have in common? They all exist within Hogwarts Castle, built originally in the medieval times by 4 great wizards of the time: Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin. But what made them so iconic in the wizarding world? Godric Gryffindor was an English wizard born around the year of 993 and one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. He was born in a little village in the west country of England, now known as Godric's Hollow, named after him. You might know the village from some of the events of the story, such as the place where the Dumbledore family lived and where Harry's parents were brutally murdered by Voldemort. He had a very quick and versatile mind. Well, you kinda have to in order to be able to wield a sword as well as a wand, making him a rather dynamic wizard fighting in both Muggle and wizard battles. He had the sword made to duel honorably with Muggles, making him a highly respected individual in the wizarding community. As legend dictates, the 4 most brilliant witches and wizards of the time valued different things in young wizards coming to the school. Gryffindor is said to have praised courage, bravery, chivalry, and strength of heart above all other qualities.
Wingardium Leviosa.
He has shown to be highly proficient in charm work, as he helped enchant the Sorting Hat into a sentient magical artifact with personality to sword students after his lifetime with the help of the other founders. He could also conjure a non-corporeal Patronus without requiring the incantation to be said, proof of his superior magical abilities as a wizard. Not only was Godric one of the most brilliant wizards of all time, he was also tolerant and accepting of Muggleborns, despite of the terrible relationship with the Muggles at the time. At a certain point in his life, he met another great wizard, Salazar Slytherin, and eventually they became great friends, fighting together to protect their own kind. Sometime after, they met Helga Hufflepuff and Rowena Ravenclaw, 2 extremely powerful witches, and the 4 would together fight for the future generations. Godric and Salazar wanted the betterment of wizards. They wanted to train wizards in such a way that they could shape a future for themselves and for the wizarding community. With no clear safe place for children to learn and even control their magic, Godric, alongside the other 3 founders, created Hogwarts, a refuge and a sanctuary that would last centuries. He kept working to protect the wizarding world until the day he died, leaving his immensely teachings for the future generations. In his name, the Great Gryffindor House was created, with a lion as the emblem, and its primary colors being scarlet and gold. The name Godric is an Anglo-Saxon name which means he who rules with God, or he who rules well. His surname is influenced by the mythological and magical beast, the Griffin, a creature with the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle. Furthermore, the last part of his surname, Dor, is a derivation from the French word dior, meaning made from gold or golden, which is one of the colors of his Hogwarts house. The suffix Dor also means gift of, so in this case, the meaning of the word Gryffindor would be gift of the Griffin. Like its creator, the students of this house should possess some of these traits, like a daring nature, nerve, chivalry, courage, and determination.
Gryffindor!
Another part of the legacy left behind was the Sorting Hat. Once his own, the hat was bewitched and enchanted along with the other founders, so that the students of the school could be sorted into their proper houses after the founders passed away, because prior to that, they would personally pick each one of the students. The Sorting Hat is still around nowadays, and every year picks every single student by itself. This kind of magic showed Gryffindor's forward thinking and once again his dedication to the school. This hat was also linked to another relic. Goblin Maid, the sword is described as being gleaming silver with rubies the size of eggs set into the hilt and has of course magical properties, revealing itself from the Sorting Hat whenever a true Gryffindor needs it. This special sword was commissioned by Gryffindor and forged by the greatest silversmith of the time, Ragnarok, the King of the Goblins. By the time Ragnar had finished the sword, however, he liked it so much that he sought to steal it back from Gryffindor. He sent a group of his subjects to retrieve the sword, but they were all fought off by Gryffindor. Gryffindor bewitched the goblins to return to Ragnar and inform him that if he tried such a thing again, Gryffindor would use the sword to kill him and all his subjects. Ragnar tried no longer to regain the sword, however. The legend persisted in the goblin community that Gryffindor had stolen the sword. Therefore, Gryffindor wanted the sword so badly in the events of the Deathly Hallows.
Come for the sword!
This shows that despite his noble heart and good intentions, Godric was a soldier and very much capable of taking the lives of his opponents. This was very common for a man of his era or personality due to the constant violence that pervaded medieval Europe and the tradition of dueling to the death among both wizard and muggles. We will dive into these dark times of wizard persecuting with Salazar Slytherin's part of the story. Lastly, Godric's sword was also capable of absorbing powers from those it had slain. That's why it became empowered with venom of the basilisk, making it a weapon strong enough to destroy Voldemort's Horcruxes. Albus Dumbledore used it on Marvolo Gaunt's ring, Ron Weasley on Salazar Slytherin's locket, and Neville Longbottom to kill Nagini, the final Horcrux. After a number of years of working peacefully together, Slytherin and Gryffindor eventually grew apart from each other due to Salazar's belief that Muggleborns should not be accepted into Hogwarts, just like Voldemort believed as seen in events of Harry Potter. Slytherin ended up leaving the school not in the best of terms. On a lighter note, it is rumored that each founder left a special room or special trait in the castle, Gryffindor's being the private study currently known as the headmaster's office. The entrance to the office is guarded by a Gryffindor. Godric Gryffindor's portrait is still displayed at the school and serves as a shortcut between the 7th floor landing of the grand staircase and the entrance hall side room. Unlike his fellow founders who have close or remote relatives mentioned throughout the series, Godric Gryffindor is the only one who is not mentioned in any moment of the story to have any descendants. Next, we will continue talking about the other 3 founders and how they all lived together, creating one of the most important schools in all the wizarding world and a not-so-friendly relationship. So stay tuned by subscribing, ringing the bell, and liking the video if you want to see more content like this one. It really means a lot to the channel. Thank you.